I'm back. Road Rants for the Matrix and Road Show, and yesterday I did a video. There was a wrongful death lawsuit that was launched against Alec Baldwin and others in the death of Halyna Hutchins. Well, we assumed that Alec Baldwin's lawyer, or somebody from his camp, maybe even him, would offer a retort of some kind, and we got just exactly that. Now, if you're just now following along, Alec Baldwin pulled the trigger and somebody died. And it was a cinematographer on a movie that he was a producer of. So Alec Baldwin really and truly has a double whammy. Now, you're seeing a lot of things involving. This is where we're really seeing actors and sort of the pompous elitist side of actors, where they feel like, hey, I'm the victim here, even though somebody else lost their life. All right, that doesn't mean necessarily that Alec Baldwin doesn't hold some kind of remorse, but he's trying to move blame, right? So, deflect, I believe, is the word that I'm looking for. Let's get to this because his lawyer did come back. Alec Baldwin's attorney calls claims actor was, quote, reckless on Rust set entirely false. Kind of assumed this was coming. Alec Baldwin's lawyer called the claim that the actor was reckless on the set of Rust, quote, entirely false in a statement to Fox Digital News. Baldwin was named in a wrongful death lawsuit filed by cinematographer Halyna Hutchins' family Tuesday. Hutchins died on the set of Rust on October 21 after a gun Baldwin was holding discharged. Hutchins' family lead attorney Brian Panish claimed, quote, reckless behavior and cost cutting. And look, I'm not saying this is absolute fact, but one thing that producers in Hollywood will absolutely do in studios is look to cut cost. It should never be done at the expense of somebody's life. And this is an odd situation because it's been many years since something like this has happened. Led to the death of Hutchins during a press conference regarding the lawsuit. However, Baldwin's attorney hit back at the claim as he emphasized that the actor was continuing to cooperate with authorities on the investigation of Hutchins' death. Quote, everyone's hearts and thoughts remain with Halyna's family as they continue to process this unspeakable tragedy. We continue to cooperate with the authorities to determine how live ammunition arrived on the set in the first place. That's what's so odd about all this. How the hell did live ammo get on this set of this movie? I mean, it's repugnant. I just cannot imagine. Any claim that Alec was reckless is entirely false, attorney Aaron Dyer said on behalf of Baldwin in a statement. He, Alana, and the rest of the crew relied on the statement by two professionals responsible for checking the gun that it was a, quote, cold gun, meaning there was no possibility of discharge, blank or otherwise. This protocol has worked on thousands of films with millions of discharges, as there has never before been an incident on set where an actual bullet harmed someone. Actors should be able to rely on armorers and prop department professionals, as well as assistant directors, rather than deciding on their own when a gun is safe to use. Yeah, I do agree with that to a point. I do think at the end of the day, when you're holding a weapon, you have to be 110% sure that weapon is safe. Baldwin armorer Hannah Gutierrez-Reed, and don't sleep on that name, the armorer is going to carry something in this. I guarantee it. Assistant director David Hall's production companies and producers were named in the lawsuit filed on behalf of Alana's husband, Matthew Hutchins, and their son, Andros, on Tuesday in New Mexico. So, look, it's not just Baldwin. It's Reed. That armor's plays a big role in all of this. And possibly the assistant director, David Halls. Representatives for Gutierrez-Reed and Halls did not respond. The Santa Fe County Sheriff's Office, which is conducting the investigation into Hutchins' death, had no comment. The investigation remains open and ongoing. We heard that from Juan Rios from the sheriff's office yesterday. Quote, I think it's clear what happened, Panish told reporters Tuesday. Alec had the gun in his hand. He shot it. Halyna was killed. He also claimed Baldwin had refused weapons training on how to cross-draw a revolver. Per Panish, Baldwin in production had, quote, disregarded at least 15 industry standards on the set of Rust. Once again, things like cost-cutting measures. And look, we can't, when it comes to Baldwin here, we absolutely cannot rule out ego. Okay, I think this guy's got likely one of the biggest egos of anybody in all of Hollywood. There's a term, pompous ass is maybe the term I'm looking for. But you can't rule out the idea that he thought, oh, I've got this. I know what I'm doing. Get the hell off me, etc., etc. Halyna Hutchins deserved to live, and defendants had the power to prevent her death if they had only had the sacrosanct their duty to protect the safety of every individual where firearms were present instead of cutting corners on safety measures where human lives were at stake, rushing to stay on schedule, and ignoring numerous complaints of safety violations. Yeah, we talked about that yesterday. When it comes to studios, it seems like the one thing they seem to be concerned about above all is remaining on schedule when it comes to movie. I mean, that's a big deal. They tend to cut corners. You tend to hear actors working too many hours. All these different things that they're not supposed to be doing. And look, I don't know that that happens on massive budget films, but on some of these indie pictures and things like that, you got to assume that it's probably kind of commonplace, okay? Kind of commonplace. The quicker they get it done, the less people they have to pay, the less amount of days they have to pay for production. It's a thing, and it's a big deal. So, again, the armor, Gutierrez-Reed, is gonna carry a lot of weight in this. And, of course, Alec Baldwin, at the end of the day, he's got the double whammy of being a producer and the person that literally pulled the trigger. This is going to be a very interesting to watch what happens from now on. Peace. I'm out.